communicate as a project manager is crucial, not only for the success of your projects, but also how you are perceived both internally and externally, and the network that you ultimately build. You could argue it's career defining. So today, I'm delighted to share with you a new tool directly in ChatGPT that can help take your written communications to the next level. So as you can see, I'm logged into my account here, and what we need to do is we need to navigate to the Explore button on the left-hand panel. Now bear in mind that this is currently only available to anyone who's on the Plus plan, which is a subscription and paid plan. So if you're not on that already, I would recommend that you sign up. It's got so many different benefits, including the latest models, and a lot of my videos which I've already shared on this channel leverage the paid plan. So I recommend you sign up. You don't obviously have to, but you're going to benefit from all of these features here, along with a lot of others. So I would recommend it, but as I say, if you just want to watch along and see what's possible, then that's also great. The tool we're going to be using today is called the Creative Writing Coach. Now, this has been created by OpenAI, and it's a tool that helps to read your work and give you feedback to improve your skills. So this is all about written communication here today. Now, it says creative writing. You can use this for any different kind of written communication, but I'm going to give you some example prompts and example use cases in this video today. So once you click it, what it's going to do is it's going to ping over and save itself onto the left-hand panel, and you can access it anytime you want to going forward. You'll notice that there are 4 example prompts that you can use from the outset, so you could use this in your personal life as well. This is all about improving your writing, so anytime you need to write, there are benefits of using this tool. But as we're project managers, let's delve into a couple of use cases where I've been using this tool and it really stands out. So I've created a document ahead of time. So the first use case I'd like to kind of propose that we test and even use this with is emails. Now we can use this tool to improve any email that we generate, and I'm just going to be kind of copying and pasting this in. As you can see, it's a very brief, relatively brief email that I sent to a client's project manager. I've taken a lot of the kind of specifics out, and I've put some example information we'd want in certain points, and it is for an example project which we've called FinTrack Pro, which is all about installing a finance product at our client. So if I just copy and paste this in, we've got some key milestones, we've got some next steps, issues and risks, action items, and it's written in a way that is quite personalized. So all I'm doing here is just selecting a tool, pressing Control-C and copying that, and I'm going to press Control-V and copy this into the tool. So you could do that if you've got an existing email. This does work better if you have written something already. You could go into this creative writing coach and say something like, I want to create an email to the client project manager, and you could specify the requirements. I actually find writing it out first is useful, or you could just go into your existing emails and find one as an example. But let's plug this in and let's see what happens. So it'll take a couple of seconds to boot up, and it will say your email is well structured and professional on the project status. Here's what's good about it. So here we go. So the first thing it's doing is it's giving us an overview of some of the things that we've done well and that we should continue doing. So this is always good because this is all about refining our approach. So it's saying that we're writing with great clarity and organization, clearly organized in headings and bullet points. So here's a quick tip. If you're not kind of doing this already in your emails, particularly to clients, make it very kind of break it up into sections, use bullet points, bold sections, and just make it kind of really easy to skim. That's really, really important. So that's what this tool has brought kind of noticed about that. So each section is concise and directly addresses different aspects of the project. So great. It's detail orientated. So got specific details about the project's progress, percentage of data migration completed, number of training sessions conducted, positive tone, positive and proactive. It talks about achievement and progress. You clearly outline the next steps and action items, which helps maintain momentum. So all of this is very, very good. But this is where the tool really kind of proves its value. Suggestions for improvement. Personalization. While the email is professionally written, adding a bit more personalization, especially in the opening and closing, can strengthen the relationship with the client. Now, this is really, really important, particularly if you're working with a client for an extended period. Perhaps it's a big contract that you've won, or as I've kind of mentioned at the start of this video about your networking. You may go for a future job at that organization. The world works in funny ways. Think about things like this. It's all about building your network. So the more you can personalize and build relationships with your stakeholders, you may just see them as someone working on a project that you're working on at the moment, but networking is massive in project management, so do consider that. Visual elements. To enhance readability, you might consider using different text formatting options like bold or italics. Okay, this can make the email even more skimmable for busy recipients. So I kind of touched on that already. Project challenges. Well, it's important to maintain a positive tone, acknowledging any challenges, even minor ones, and how they overcome can provide a more balanced view. And I'm sure a client would want to know about that. Feedback request specificity. When asking for feedback, can be helpful to ask specific questions. So with all this in mind, so this is what I would then do at this point. I would then say something like, please can you rewrite the email, including the suggestions for improvement. I'm going to hit go. When I say hit go, I've hit enter on my keyboard, or you could have pressed that little button. And here we go. This is what is going to happen. It's literally going to take all of its suggestions and it's going to plug it in. And we can actually see that once it's finished. So you can always refer back to your existing one, and you could even put them side by side in a document if you really wanted to compare. Now, obviously, we need to wait for this to finish, but I'm not going to sit here and wait for this. Time is of the essence. So I'm actually going to just introduce the next use case while that just runs through. Now, the next use case is we can use this tool to build intranet sites or hub sites or project sites that are used by different stakeholders to see what's going on our projects, or maybe it's something non-related to a specific project. It could be something about the team. It could be more about it could be about personal stuff that you do with the team. Anything like that. Any kind of intranet site where information is stored. Or a newsletter. A newsletter is great as well. Perhaps you have something like a monthly bulletin which provides status updates on the different projects you're working on or programs, or perhaps it's something you want to introduce. So maybe you work on 5 different projects and you want to provide almost a concise summary of what's happening across all of them. You could create a newsletter, you could create a bulletin, and you could just pull it all together. It could be an A4 document, and you could have literally a couple of high-level sentences on the progress of the project. You could have graphics. You could put a RAG status against each one, and it just gives your stakeholders a really good overview, a high-level overview of what's happening on your projects, and it looks really, really good. So if you're not doing that already, it's a suggestion for your senior stakeholders. So this is the finalized. Email. We'll look at that in a moment. Let's continue with this use case. So use case 2. Internet sites. So how would I do this? So what I would do is I'd go back into the Creative Writing Coach. I would start from fresh, as we've just done, and I would say something like, I am creating, and don't worry, we will look at that email very, very shortly. So I am creating a newsletter which includes a summary of my projects and how they are currently doing. The newsletter is to be sent to senior stakeholders and will be sent on a monthly basis. So I'm going to start with a really basic prompt here, but I just want to show you how this tool really works in regards to giving it very little and it kind of building off of, building from there. Oh, thank you, Creative Writing Coach. It's wonderful that you're undertaking a project like creating users for senior stakeholders. Well, and this is what I was kind of getting at the start of the video. So while my expertise is primarily in creative writing, I can certainly offer some tips that are broadly applicable to effective writing and communication in a professional context like yours. So I've had a network error there, so I'm going to have to regenerate that. I think that was due to my network. So Just bear with me. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going again. Okay, so this is great if you're yet to say create a newsletter and you don't know what to include. So it's going to actually give us a, as you can see there, it's going to give us a structure. So as I actually mentioned about the kind of brief summary, this is what this is suggesting, which is really, really interesting. So highlight the critical points, what the project is, the current status and key achievements, progress and metrics. Use clear metrics or KPIs to show progress. This could be in terms of percentage completed, milestone reached, or other quantifiable measures. Challenges and solutions. So this is things like risks, issues and things like that. Next steps. And then it talks about how you actually do it. So engaging tone. While it's important to be professional, a slightly conversational or engaging tone can make these more readable. Avoid jargon as much as possible. Now, call to action as well, actually. I should mention that. Visual appeal. There you go. And then, honestly, having read this, I used to produce a monthly bulletin for the projects that I was working on. This, honestly, is exactly what I did. Is exactly what I did. This is before ChatGPT was a thing. We created something and it ticked every single one of these. So this is really interesting. If you want to start something new, you don't know what to include, where to begin, then this is a really, really good tool for it. And you could then go on and you could actually just with future prompts. I'm not going to do. I don't want this video to go on for too long. But with future prompts, you could craft this entire newsletter from ChatGPT. So you could say the 5 projects are. You could then list them. You could then say, and when I say list them, you could say, project 1, project 2, and you might need to kind of explain. You might need to explain what each one is. You could then say, create a summary for each project. So, as an example, software installation. Project 2, hardware installation. So you get the idea. I'm just trying to show you how I would structure my prompt. And of course, you could really put a lot in this prompt. And now, arguably, you would say, why would you put all that time and effort into a prompt when you could just kind of, write the summary yourself? Well, this is all in automation. This is all about the future newsletters that you send out. Once you've done this, and once you've set this all up, you could then go back into ChatGPT when it's time for the next newsletter, and you could literally pick up where you left off. And you could, once it's all built out on the screen here, you could open up the existing chat and you could go in and say, the next month's newsletter is due. Please write the summary for these 5 projects. That's all you would need for that prompt. And it would remember all of the previous conversation, everything that you gave it in this prompt before, and it would create it again. So that is where the value lies. It's all about it's building upon it. ChatGPT takes a lot of effort up front, but when you get the process kind of defined and refined, then going back in, opening up the existing chat and then plugging in these future prompts can save you so much time. So that's what I would do here. So let's just finish it off, plug it in and see what happens. So create for each project. I'll just put the 2 projects are at, these are just, I'm just plucking these out of thin air. There's nothing to do with this. I'm literally just thought of 2 different banks because that would make sense for this particular project. So this is what it's going to suggest. Now, as you can see, you can refine this as you could personally refine this, or you could ask ChatGPT to refine it. You could stop it, and then you could ask it certain things. So you could say, I could stop it here, and I could say, I want the progress update to be in tabular form, as an example. With percentage complete, state, those kind of things. You could do a high level table at the top, which includes all 5 projects that have that table as an example. So you could ask that as a prompt as well in the future. Or you could say something like, I want the progress update to be longer, include etc. Now I won't let these run in the interest of time, but you get the idea. And the creative writing coach is all about improving how you communicate. So what I would do, and where the real value is plugging in existing bits of text. So any emails that you've sent, any newsletters that you've created, it's better that way than really creating from scratch. But what I wanted to show you is that you could use it in that way as well. So if you've got any big blocks of text that you want to kind of assess and see what ChatGPT can kind of improve about it, plug it in, open this up and plug it in and see what comes back, and then work from there. But we did start, didn't we, with an email. Let's see what we've got. So first and foremost, it looks to be relatively similar in length. Let's just read through this. So this is really interesting. The your action items. I think that's new. Yes. So before, we had next steps. But what it's done, and this is interesting, is it's made it. So if I was to receive this email as an example, I'd know exactly what's required of me. And that's what we all want when we read our emails. We don't, a lot of them, especially if the message is really, really hidden deep, it can be really confusing, or just take a lot of time to kind of get to it, or it can be missed altogether. So this is really, really good. It's pulled this out, and I like that. So we would greatly appreciate your feedback on the customer reporting module. Are these specific aspects of the module you find most beneficial? So this section is entirely new. Please confirm your team's abilities with upcoming advanced training sessions. If you have any additional requirements or changes, we're all ears. Kindly share them with us by the end of next week. So this just sounds great because it shows that you're there for the client. You're listening to them. It's showing, you're available and you're doing what you should be doing. You're there to help them, and that ultimately is exactly what should happen with a client if you're kind of working on a project with them. So our commitment to a seamless FinTrack Pro installation at your organisation remains unwavering. We're diligently working. If you read this, you'd be really happy. You want your client to be working hard for you, and if you're paying a lot of money for a solution, in this example, a new product, a new software, this is what you want to see. So yeah, these little touches, plugging this in and getting this back, a couple of prompts and we've got it improved. And I'm sure with some extra prompts as well, we could get this improved further. So here we go. In this version, I've added more personalization, acknowledged minor challenges, and used specific questions to solicit feedback. I've also used bold text headings to improve readability. You could even say something like, provide more suggestions for improvement. Or you could say, you could do a prompt like that, or you could say, I want to now copy this into Outlook. What would you suggest I do to ensure this email is as well received as possible? Let's see what this says. Let's plug this in. And it does take a couple of seconds. Certainly. When preparing to send this email via Outlook, here are some steps to ensure it is well received and professional. Format the email properly. That kind of goes without saying. But yeah, while this runs, I hope this video is useful. If you have any questions, please drop them down below. Any feedback or just any comments, please drop them down below as well. Hit the like button if you found this video useful, and do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Now, I would say if you've got a GPT-4 plan already, then you might as well test this. You might as well just go in. It's a free cheap GPT that you can use. It's provided to everyone on a paid plan. So you might as well test it, plug some information in, and see what you get back. I'm sure, even with a minor tweak here and there, even if you've got a passage of text and you're not sure how to order it, or you could say something like, please order this or please reword this into a better order that makes more sense for the recipient, or something like that. So that's what I suggest you doing if you've got a Plus plan already. If you haven't, I do recommend signing up. I mean, it's around $20 per month. I'm not affiliated with ChatGPT in any way. I'm just using it extensively in my project management role. So I would suggest maybe signing up and maybe exploring this tool. Maybe this video has done that for you. If not, as I say, I've got plenty of videos which use some of the advanced functionality as part of the paid plan on my channel. So I would suggest watching those videos. Let's just quickly see what it suggested. Personalized, yeah, the salutation, obvious. Proofread for errors, obvious, really. Test email formatting again. Use a descriptive subject line. That's really, really important. You want to make sure that your email is picked up and read. So it even gives us a suggestion here, which is great. Include a signature. Yeah, probably likely got that in place already. Consider the timing of your email. Yeah. So a lot of this is relatively obvious. Maybe not the best prompt that I gave it, but still maybe something you might have forgot about, not even thought about. So yeah, just also some good tips. So yeah, so ultimately that's the video. I hope you have an excellent day.